In this video, I'm going to show you a really great way of working out what key a piece is in by looking at its key signature. So that by the end of the video, if you see 4 sharps at the beginning of a piece, you can say that's an E major, or if you see 5 flats, you can say that's in D flat major, and so on. Now to do this, you need to be able to play a fifth on any note on the keyboard really easily and quickly. So if you don't know your fifths yet, follow the link above this video and work through my tutorial on that first. And that's because the first half of this video is going to be an exercise using fifths. And in the second half, we're going to see how that exercise helps us work out the key of a piece by looking at its key signature. So exercise number 1, take your right hand and place your second finger on middle C. And now let's go up a fifth, that takes us to G. Up another fifth, that takes us to D. Another fifth again takes us to A. And then keep on going up by fifths, E, B, until you get to F sharp. So if your keyboard's smaller than this, you might need to start on a lower C so you don't run out of notes. But the sequence is C, G, D, A, E, B, F sharp. So each time you're going up by a fifth. So the first thing I want you to do is make sure you can play this sequence of notes really easily and reliably with your right hand. Once you can do that, we can move on to this second exercise. And for that one, take your left hand and put your second finger on the C an octave above middle C. And this time we're going to go down by fifths. So fifth below C is F. Fifth below F is B flat. Be careful, it's not B, it's B flat. Fifth below B flat is E flat. And then keep on going down by fifths, A flat, D flat, until you get to G flat. So the second exercise is learning to play the sequence C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat. Starting from the C above middle C and going down by fifths until you hit G flat. Now you might have noticed that we actually end up at the same note with both exercises. This way we end up on F sharp, and this way we end up on G flat, but F sharp and G flat are the same note on the keyboard. So we arrive at the same note, but we call it a different name depending on which way we go. F sharp at the top and G flat at the bottom. Well, now that we've done that, we get the payoff, because you probably know that C major has no sharps in the key signature. So C has no sharps. But if we go up a fifth to G, G major has 1 sharp, F sharp. So G has 1 sharp. If we go up a fifth again, D major has 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. And then if we go up another fifth, A major has 3 sharps, C sharp, F sharp and G sharp. So in fact, every time we go up a fifth from C, we add a sharp to the key signature. So no sharps, 1 sharp, D has 2 sharps, A major has 3 sharps, and if we keep on going, E has 4 sharps, B major has 5 sharps, and F sharp major has 6 sharps in the key signature. It's because it has an E sharp in it. So 5 black notes, but 6 sharps. So the third exercise I want you to do is to basically play what you played in the first one. But this time, I want you to say aloud as you play, no sharps, 1 sharp, 2 sharps, 3 sharps, 4 sharps, 5 sharps, 6 sharps. So no sharps, 1 sharp, 2 sharps, 3 sharps, 4 sharps, 5 sharps, and you stop when you get to F sharp with 6 sharps in the key signature. Then you can probably guess what's going to happen next. Next, we're going to go through the sequence we did in exercise number 2, and this time we're going to name flats, because C major has no flats in the key signature, F major has 1 flat, which is B flat, If we go down another fifth, B flat major has two flats, B flat and E flat, and so on. So each time we go down by a fifth, we add a flat to the key signature. That means that exercise number 4 is going to be going down by fifths with the left hand starting on C. But as you go, I want you to say no flats, 1 flat, 2 flats, 3 flats, 4 flats, 5 flats, 6 flats. So stop when you hit G flat. And G flat major is of course the same scale on the keyboard as F sharp major, you just name the notes differently. This isn't too important, but just if you're curious, F sharp major is F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, and then F sharp. Whereas G flat major is G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat, D flat, E flat, F, G flat again. So 2 different ways of writing down that scale on the keyboard. So this means that we have really quite an easy way of working out what key a piece is in, because if you're counting sharps, you go up by fifths until you get to the right key, and if you're counting flats, you go down by fifths. So let's do those 2 examples from the beginning of the video. I said, what key would a piece be in if it had 4 sharps in the key signature? So now you can just go no sharps, 1 sharp, 2 sharps, 3 sharps, 4 sharps, and you have your key. It's in E major. And you can use another technique to work out what the E major scale is. I'll cover that in another video. Or if the piece has 5 flats in the key signature, you can now go no flats, 1 flat, 2 flats, 3 flats, 4 flats, and 5 flats gives you your scale. It's in D flat major. Now that gives you the major scale of whatever piece you're playing from looking at the key signature. And if you just use this technique, you won't play any wrong notes. However, you may have heard about relative minor scales. And if you're curious to know how you can work out if a piece is in the major scale or in the relative minor, keep watching. If that doesn't mean anything to you, you can stop at this point and that trick will work fine. But if you're curious to know whether the piece you're playing is in the major scale you just worked out or in the relative minor, I would say the best way of working it out is by looking at the last bass note. So let's say you have a piece with 3 flats in the key signature. So if you use this technique, that gets you to E flat. So that tells you that it uses the E flat major scale. But you might know that that is also the C minor scale, just starting on a different note. Well, if you look at the last bass note, if the last bass note's in E flat, it's in E flat major. If the last bass note's a C, then it's in C minor. So it's pretty much as simple as that. Just look at the last bass note. So if you want a general rule from that, I would say if the bass note is the note you worked out using that exercise we learned in the earlier part of the video, then it's in the major key. But if the bass note is 3 semitones lower than the note you worked out, then it's in the relative minor. So again, let's do one more example. Let's say the piece has 1 sharp in it. Keep it simple. That means it's using the G major scale. But if the last bass note is 3 semitones lower, 1, 2, 3, then it's actually an E minor. Now for a tiny number of cases, the bass note might be something different to either of those 2 notes, in which case I would say either the piece is in some other kind of key or scale, or it's actually in the major scale, but it just doesn't finish on the tonic. But that's a really tiny number of cases. For the vast majority of cases, this technique will allow you to work out what key a piece is in really easily and quickly.